Yes, let me share. Right, fine. Okay. So what we can do, let's go for the security, guys. So today I'll help you. Today I'll show you how SQL Server security authentication will work. Okay. Let me go with the drive. Just you'll get a basic idea how the security will work. What is Windows authentication? What is mixed authentication? While installing, we'll get these options, right? So I'll show you how security will work. Okay. So tomorrow onwards, security will start, guys. Security topics will start. Okay, no, let me open the existing one. Right, fine. So how people will connect, okay, to the SQL server? What is the mechanism? We'll discuss, guys. So as discussed, there are two ways actually. One way, as we have already discussed, you can directly connect to the server. This is your laptop, right? In the laptop, you will open MSTSC. Once you open MSTSC, you will type the address of this server. That's what I am doing regularly. You will type this this particular server IP address, and you will hit enter. You will get username and password, and then you are going to connect to the server. Okay. So once you entered into the server, guys, if your name is there in this list, okay, in this logins list, as discussed earlier, only these people can connect to my SQL server. Agree, guys? Logins list. Who are there in this list? Only these people can connect. Other people cannot connect. That we already discussed in the last class. This is MSTSC. If you are connecting to the server, means that doesn't mean that you can connect to the SQL server. Of course, I have also entered into the server. But imagine Harminder is trying to connect to the server. Okay, Harminder. I just give. Of course, there is no login of Harminder. What password I'll give? I'll give random password. Okay. So when other people are trying to connect, there are two ways. One is using Windows authentication, they can connect. What is meant by Windows authentication? They have to log into the Windows machine. This is how it will work. Okay. So you can see login failed for user Harminder. I want to see what is the error, sir. What is the issue? Okay, if you go to error log, okay, management under error log, under management, you can see SQL Server logs. There you can see current error log. If you open it, there it will be clearly mentioned there is no login found. Okay, login failed for user Harminder. Reason and attempt of authentication server is configured 18456. Okay, okay. It is saying like integrated authentication. That's okay. That's okay. That's fine. Okay, so usually you can see if you select any error, about the error you can see the information here in the below window. Okay, if you can see if any big error is there, that particular error information will be there here, guys, in this window. Okay, so you have to select each error, so like that you can see some errors information and all in the SQL Server error log. Okay, fine. So this is a different error. Usually what you can see here, login failed for user Harminder, reason login not found. Okay, so like that you can see. Okay, just for example I'm saying, I'll show you that as well. I'll show you that error as well. Okay, let me close the error log. Okay, so what is Windows authentication, guys? There are two ways. If you see here, while connecting to the SQL server, you can see two ways. Either you can use Windows authentication or you can use SQL server authentication. Only two ways, guys. These three belongs to Azure, not belongs to our on-prem. Forget about these three. Okay, we don't use these three at all. In case if it is an on-prem server, if it is an Azure server, you might use this. You can see only these two options. One is Windows authentication, second one is SQL authentication. What is Windows and what is SQL authentication, guys? Windows means directly connecting to the server from your Windows machine without giving username and password. If you see here, if I choose an instance, if I choose a authentication, Windows authentication, it is not asking the username and password. But is it possible to connect to the server without username and password? Is it possible, guys? Can I connect like that?
No, sir.
It's not at all possible, guys. It won't ask username and password for Windows authentication. I'll tell you why. But it will take the username. If you see here, it took the username. Actually, this username is already there in the security. If you go to the security, okay, the same username you can find it, guys. The same username you can find it. So don't think you are not giving username means that you can connect to the instance without username. If you see here, okay, computer name WinTP28 KBM V7E3 administrator, same name as it is there. That's why, okay, you are able to connect to the SQL server. If I click on connect, guys, if this login is not there, if this login is not there, your authentication will be failed. But sir, I cannot edit right here. Username I want to edit as Harmender, but I cannot see Harmender, right? I can see only administrator. How can I get Harmender? Why I got the administrator? First of all, can anyone tell me?
So this was the username which we add
No,
installation.
no, not correct. If you add, if I add 100 usernames, can you see 100 names here?
This is a default instance.
Default user for default instance.
If it is a default instance, can I see like this? I'm just asking
is no
how I
users.
got this name. How I got this name here. Of course, this username is computer name slash login name, either administrator or Arminder or Jayesh or Shiva or Raju, whatever it might be. But how I got this name, guys? Any idea? Owner. What is the owner? What is meant by owner? If it is owner,
This
can I
is
see?
administrator
If I
account.
have 10 owners, if I have 10 owners, can I see all the 10 owners logins list here? Someone is trying to say an answer. Since
Windows login. System administrator.
Sir, there are no users, sir. Only administrator is there.
oh, you can see 10 users are there, right? You can see 10 users. You can use other logins also. Sorry, you can see other logins also. Okay. Okay, for you, I'm creating one more. Let me create one more. Of course, I cannot create it now. There is a way. I'll show you. Okay. So, but still, I cannot. Windows authentication, I cannot edit the name. But for SQL Server authentication, you can edit the name, guys. For Windows authentication, I cannot edit the name. But I don't want to change the authentication mode to SQL authentication. I want to use Windows authentication, but instead of administrator, I want to use either Harminder or Raju or Ravi or Sandhya or Shravani, whatever it might be. I want to change the name. How can I do that? First of all, how I got this administrator here? Any idea? Anyone is having any idea?
Permission, sir.
So
Sorry,
OS admin.
Windows login.
who said OS admin?
So me, so Harminder.
Arminder. Okay, close it to the answer. Can you explain a little bit more? Why my server is not responding? Okay, so when I am logging into the server, what I am doing, guys, in the RDP, what I am doing, I am just giving the server IP address. If you click on connect, you will get the username and password. Once you entered for the first time, you will get the username and password, right? First time you will get username and password. If you keep on using the same username, next time it will simply ask the password. It won't ask username. Only while connecting first time it will ask the username and password. Next time it won't ask username and password. It will simply ask you the password. If you see here, what is the login name? Computer name slash administrator, right?
Computer name.
So if you logged into this,
Administrator.
yes, if you give the password, if you logged into this machine, you will be the administrator, right? Your name will be the administrator, right? So if you open any application like SSMS and all, automatically what is your username, the same username you can see, guys. So how I am getting this username? Because I logged in as an administrator, so that's why I got administrator username here that I cannot change, guys. Means Windows authentication will read Windows level user information, sorry, Windows level user information it will read. Got it, guys? Why I got this name now? Is it clear? Why? Because I logged into this machine as an administrator and I opened SSMS. That's why when I select Windows authentication, it will log in with the same username that you used to log into the Windows machine. Clear? Now I want to log in as the Harminder. I want to see Harminder here. How can I see that?
You have to create a new.
I have to
You
create
can
a
create
new
a new
user.
user.
Very good, excellent. I have
Uh,
to create a Harminder user. Next.
Sir, admin will give the right to Harminder.
Correct. Admin will give you permissions to Harminder to connect to the server remotely. Next. While connecting to the server remotely, Harminder will give his own name. Okay. Harminder slash password is might be while creating the user account, admin will give one password to the Harminder, right? He will give that password here and he will click OK. As of now, it will be failed. Why? Because there is no such user. Of course, it will show you like that, but it will be failed, guys. Hey, what is this? Yeah, you can see like this. The username or password is incorrect like this. Okay, so this is how. So when you logged in with the Harminder, then here you can see Harminder name instead of administrator. Here you can see Harminder name. If you see Harminder name here, when Harminder open SSMS, it will show you computer name slash Harminder, guys. Okay, so Windows authentication means using Windows credentials. Login to the servers using Windows credentials is called Windows authentication. You might ask, sir, why it is not asking the password for Harminder or administrator? Guys, while connecting to the server, you will give the password here, right? While connecting to the server, you will give the password right here. Means in the OS level, already you are a successful user. OS security is more than your SQL Server security. In the OS level itself, you are verified, guys. For example, an apartment is there. You want to go to an apartment initially, or else go to shopping mall. If you go to shopping mall, initially they will search, right? They are going to scan you whether you are taking any other illegal products, kind of stuff like any bombs or anything which is fire related things you are taking, or any weapons you are taking. They are going to search at the entrance of your shopping mall. Once you are entered, once you are allowed to enter into the shopping mall, again for each shop they won't search, guys, right? Agree? In the shopping
Yes,
mall,
sir.
if you go to any malls, you might see 30 or 40 shops in that. So initially at the entrance itself, they are going to scan you. Okay. Once you are allowed to enter into the shopping mall, if you want to go to any shops like Big Bazaar or First Cry, anything you want to go to any shop in that shopping mall, again they don't want to scan you. Why? Because initially you were scanned at the entry level. So you are a successfully scanned user. You're an authorized user. You are okay. You are fine. Okay. So that's why other shops won't check. They will simply allow you. In the same way, your Windows authentication means your shopping mall security. Once you crossed the security, once you entered into the machine by crossing the security, you are a successfully verified user. Then you might ask, sir, Windows team also can log into the Windows machine, right? They also can connect to my SQL server. Is it possible, guys, like that? Is it possible? Even though you are a
Yes, sir.
successfully verified user in the Windows level, you should be a login of the SQL server, guys. Even though you are successfully verified user in the Windows level, you should be the login in the SQL server level. Then only you will be entered into the SQL server. Got it, guys? Any issues, any doubts? Is it clear how Windows authentication will work? Everyone now?
So the last point, can you just explain once again?
No. See, the last point, what I'm trying to say, even Windows people also can connect to the Windows machine. Okay, Windows
Yes.
people also can log into the Windows machine. Does it mean they can connect to the SQL server?
They are already in.
They are
So
already in the Windows machine. They can open SSMS. They will try to connect to the SQL server. They will, of course, what login name they use it to connect to the Windows machine, they will get this name. They can connect to the SQL server. Are they able to connect to the SQL server? Yes, I'm just asking question. Are they able to connect to, who can connect to the SQL server? Who are there in this list? They only can connect, right?
right, sir.
Agree?
Mm.
If
Yeah,
they
yeah.
won't, we don't allow them, we don't add them in this group. So how can they can connect? Windows team, network team, storage team will have remote desktop permissions. They can connect to the server remotely. Still, they cannot
Mhm.
connect to the server to the SQL server. Why? Because they are not part of our group. Is it clear, guys? Only thing
Got it,
is
sir.
very,
Yes, sir.
very
Yeah.
important point is only these list of people can connect to my SQL server. Whoever there in the logins list, only those people can connect to my SQL server. How they can connect? Using Windows authentication or SQL server authentication. That is different. First of all, these people only can connect. If you add Windows team here, yes, they can connect. If you add network team in this list, yes, they can connect. If you add storage team here, yes, they can connect. If you add backup team here, yes, they can connect. But if you don't add anyone, no one can connect. Windows and SQL, it's the way of connecting, but who can connect will decide this logins list. Clear,
So
guys?
no. So normally, sir, we do have SQL authentication on
Not
servers.
like that. We will have mixed authentication. Okay. Windows will
Mm,
also have Windows login, will also have SQL logins. Mostly SQL DBS will have Windows authentication. Okay. So that means why?
mm,
Because we have to log into the Windows machine for maintenance
mhm,
purpose, for deleting the backup files, for creating the new files. Okay. So we have to
mhm,
log into the Windows machine remotely. So that's why we are
mhm.
Windows authenticated people. We are DBS. Other
Right.
people, other developers, users and all, they don't connect like this, guys. There is another way. Only client will be installed in their laptop. Just a client will be installed in their laptop, guys. Only SSMS will be installed in their laptops. Okay. From SSMS they will directly connect to the SQL server, guys. Here let me show you the one. Sir, if a person change their Windows password, will it get automatically updated? Yes, no problem. The only thing is you are not entering the username and password here. Okay. So you are using the existing credentials only, the Windows credentials. So until you can able to log into the Windows machine, there is no password issues for Windows logins. If the person changed his password, also he is able to connect to the SQL server. No issues. It will be automatically updated, guys. No issues for that. Okay, Sudhindra. And what is this, Raju? What is this question? If passwords are different for Windows and SQL server, what is this? I didn't get your question. If passwords are different for Windows and SQL server, I didn't get your question. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so if you want, you can unmute and you can ask your question. Is it clear, guys, how Windows authentication will work? First of all, everyone, any doubts here? Let me know, please.
Yes, sir.
Everyone, guys, please let me know. No problem. If you have doubt, no issues, or if you want me to, okay, sir, still confusing, tell me again. No problem. If you tell me, if you are clear, that's okay. I'll tell you how SQL authentication will work. Okay, so concept is same, guys. SQL and Windows, both concepts are same. For SQL also, the login should be there, either SQL login or Windows login. There are two types of logins, guys. One is SQL login, second one is Windows login. If you use Windows authentication, that is Windows login. If you use SQL authentication, that is SQL login, guys, or mixed authentication. Mixed means both. How SQL logins will connect usually? Okay, so here the same concept, guys. Here the same concept. Imagine, okay, this is the user laptop and this is the organization, guys. This is the organization. In this we have a SQL server. Imagine in this Windows server we have a, this is a Windows server. In this Windows server we have a SQL server. Okay, imagine. Okay, in this Windows server we have a SQL server. Right, done. So they want to connect to the SQL server. Users, how usually users will connect to the SQL server, guys? So they will open will install. Will means not we. DBS won't install SSMS in the user's laptop. Sometimes we'll get those kind of requests. That's why I'm stressing. Hey, can you please install SSMS in my laptop? Installing any tools will be done by the support team. IT team will be there. There is a separate team. IT team is responsible for distributing the laptops, recovering the laptops, installing any softwares in your laptops, third party softwares and all. So For this, sometimes you will get a ticket, hey, can you please install SSMS in my laptop, in my client machine? You can simply route the ticket to the Windows team, not Windows team. Actually, Windows team is totally different. IT support team. Sorry, we cannot handle this kind of requests. We are going to route this ticket to the IT support team. Like that, you can update the ticket and change the ticket queue from SQL DBA to IT support queue. Okay, if you don't know the queue, ask your colleague. He will tell you the queue name for IT support. So installing any software is the responsibility of IT support team, guys. IT team or IT support team. Users will have SSMS in their laptops. Once you are a user, imagine you are a user. Okay, so simply, I don't think SSMS will get, no SSMS. Okay, so simply what happened, guys? IT support team will install SSMS in the user's laptop. In the user's laptop, they will install SSMS. What they are going to do, user, imagine, okay, we have Anil is there. Okay, imagine Anil is a developer. Okay, so what we are going to do, will install, will means the IT team will install SSMS for Anil. Anil will open simply SSMS. Once you open the SSMS, imagine once you open the SSMS, let me open the SSMS in my laptop. He will log into his laptop. Okay, once he logged into his laptop, he will open SSMS. Then it will ask the username and password. Okay, connect. You want to connect to one server. Imagine the server name is 192.168.1.5. This is my SQL server name. Okay, so when Anil opens SSMS in his laptop, Anil will give to which server he want to connect. Which server he want to connect. Okay, Anil wants to connect to this server. Anil wants to connect to this server. Okay, let me show you. Okay, I cannot. Right. So Anil wants from his own laptop, he want to connect to the server. Anil open SSMS like this, and Anil will type 192.160 or server name or IP address, guys. Fine, both are fine. Server name or IP address. Anil will enter like this. Now Anil can't choose Windows authentication. Anil has to choose SQL authentication. Anil has to type his own login name and Anil has to type his password. Then only Anil has to click connect. Then Anil can connect. Means SSMS only will be installed in their laptops, guys. SQL server will be there in somewhere like this. The setup will be like this. SQL server will be there in the somewhere. It might be in another data center, your office data center. Anil SSMS will be installed in the Anil's laptop. This is Anil's laptop. Okay. So SSMS will be installed in the Anil's laptop. So what Anil can do, Anil simply once he started his work, Anil simply open the laptop and he will just open SSMS like this and he's trying to connect to this server, right? Anil will give the IP address of this server. Then Anil will select the SQL authentication. Now Anil can use his own login name Anil and password. Sir, what is this username and password? That username and password you will create here, guys. Let me show you that one. So how Anil can connect? Now in this case, Anil cannot connect. Okay. So now I'll create a login for Anil. It's a SQL login, right? Select SQL authentication. Anil. Password I'm giving 123 123. I'm giving a simple password. Okay. Unselect it. I'll tell you why I'm unselecting. While creating a new login, again I'll explain, guys. I'm just simply showing one demo. That's it. Okay. So click OK. Now Anil password you can see here now Anil. Okay, click Anil connect. Now type SQL authentication. Now you have a chance to edit the login name. Now you can click on Anil name. While creating Anil login, I gave one password, right? 123 password. That password you have to give here. And if you click connect, automatically Anil can connect. In this case, Anil cannot connect. Why I'll tell you. Okay. So the reason is this was configured while installing. This was configured with Windows authentication, so it will allow only Windows login. I want to change it to mixed authentication. Go to security, go to server properties, go to security. Here you can see, right, Windows authentication mode is there, means only as of now Windows logins can connect. SQL logins can't connect. So change this to SQL and Windows authentication. Both logins can connect. That is called mixed authentication. Click OK. When you change this setting, it will ask you to restart the server. Right click and restart it. Click yes. And again yes.
So now, sir, Anil will connect to the SQL server without connecting to the server.
Correct. Okay. So now SQL Server authentication. Now Anil tab 1, 2, 3. Just I want to show you. That's why I'm just connecting from the Windows server. But this is not the way Anil will connect. I just entered into the why because I have to create secure connection between my laptop and my Windows server. That setup will be there in the organization. Okay, so I didn't created any setup, but Anil simply can open SSMS in his own laptop and he can type the IP address and then he can give like this. He can give Anil and Anil password. Okay, he can give Anil and Anil password, whatever password we are going to create at the time of Anil login creation. We'll give one password, right? That password will send it to Anil. Hey Anil, we just created your login, this is your password. Now Anil will try to connect like this, guys. If you click on connect, automatically he is able to connect. Means SQL authentication means no need to enter into the Windows machine, guys. If it is a Windows authentication, see here, Windows authentication means using MST. First you have to enter into the Windows machine. Then you have to connect to the SQL server. That's how we are going to connect to the server usually in the organization. DBS. DBS will enter into the Windows machine first, and then from there they will open SSMS in the Windows machine, and then they will type SQL server, and then they will connect to the SQL server. That's how DBS will connect. But how developers will connect? They will have only SSMS in their laptop. They will open SSMS and whatever server they want to connect, uh, they will have a list of servers or server names or IP addresses they will have. They will simply give the server name and it will ask you for authentication. They have to choose SQL authentication and they have to give their username and password. If you are not connecting directly from server, you have to choose SQL authentication. Got it, guys? If you are connecting from outside of the server, if you are connecting from outside of the Windows server, you have to choose SQL authentication. If you are able to connect to the Windows server, if you are able to log into the Windows server, then you can open SSMS and you can directly connect. But when in all the cases the condition is you should be a member of the logins list. Till now Anil is not able to connect, but when I create a login for Anil, then Anil is able to connect. If you see here, Anil is able to connect. You can see a connection for Anil. Let me restore. Okay, if you see here, this is Anil login. You can see here Anil login. This is my login and this is Anil login. Why? As Anil is there in this list, so that's why Anil is able to connect. Okay, so like that, other persons cannot connect. Again, if you ask me to connect as Harminder, okay, Harminder, he cannot connect. Why? Because we didn't create any login for him. Okay, you are getting an error. If you want to see the complete error information, go to the management, go to the SQL Server logs, open current error log. You can see here login failed for Harminder. Reason, what is the reason? Could not find a login matching in the name provided. Means there is no login of Harminder in this list. So that's why I'm unable to allow Harminder to connect to my SQL server. Clear, guys, the difference between a SQL authentication and Windows authentication? How developers will connect, how DBS will connect?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
So if that is the case, okay, that's it for today, guys. Tomorrow I'll show you how to create a Windows login, how to create a SQL login. Okay, so we'll discuss tomorrow about the logins and all, how to give permissions. Okay, everything will be discussed. Okay, tomorrow's class. Today we just started security, how the things will work, how we can connect, how a developer can connect, how a user can connect. Okay, I'm giving you this. Okay, now Raju Reddy is asking after these many days, okay, 12 days I guess. Now he is asking how to find server IP. So Raju, I am giving you this assignment to you. Okay. So daily I am doing the same thing, connecting to the server, finding the IP address, and daily I'm finding the IP address initially. So I'm giving you the assignment. Check how to find the Windows server IP address in the Google and let me know the solution. Guys, if we discuss at that point, okay, I will ask you if you have any questions during the discussion, you have to ask me. If you ask later, sir, how to do that, then I'll ask you to again refer my videos or I'll ask you to refer the Google. If you have any doubts, ask during the discussion. Okay. If I feel that we have already discussed at that point, if I don't discuss, I'll tell the answer. No problem. If I feel that I have already discussed at that point, I'll simply refer you to go through the videos or go through the Google, guys. Okay. Raju Reddy, now you have an extra assignment. You have to check. Okay. Server, there is nothing server. Okay. See, don't think for Windows server there is a different IP, SQL server there is a different IP. No. Why I gave 192.165.1.5 here for server name? Same IP address, the same Windows server IP address you have to give. There is no SQL server separate IP address. SQL server doesn't maintain any IP address, guys. Okay. If that is your question, then you have to mention SQL server, not Windows. Okay. So SQL server doesn't have any IP address. It will use Windows server IP address or Windows server name only. Right, Raju? Is it clear now? Okay, done, guys. Okay, that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll meet at 7 a.m. and we'll start the security from tomorrow. Very important concepts, guys. Okay. Thank you all.